What's up, YouTube? It's the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. Of course, I'm the fashion and fragrance guy. You're into looking good and smelling great. I think you've stumbled upon the right channel. Make sure you hit subscribe and don't forget to hit the bell icon as well. So that way, anytime I upload a new video, you'll be one of the first people to get notified. Guys, I am so happy that I have my voice back. I talked about this a lot on some of my videos that I posted within the last 2 weeks or so. I've been kind of battling a cold, flu, whatever you want to call it, and having voice challenges and all that kind of stuff, but I'm back. Never thought you'd be so happy just to have something as simple and normal as being able to speak how you normally speak. But anyway, it is 2024 officially. It's officially official. And I just wanted to talk about and to kind of discuss some fragrances that have come out here over the last year and a half or so. More recently than that, most of them, but I think as far back as maybe a year and a half ago. That I think, or I want to put on you guys' radar for 2024. Now, some of these fragrances may be a little bit more expensive. Listen, get a sample. You know, I have discount codes for Twisted Lily, So Avant-Garde, you name it, Mind Games, Argos. I mean, you name it, I got discount codes. I mean, a lot of these places you can get sample sets, you can get decants, so you can get a full bottle if you like, or a sampler, whatever. But these are 10 fragrances that I want to put on your radar. Relatively new releases that I want you to look at for 2024. So I'm gonna run the intro, and when we come back, we're gonna get into it. 10 fragrances that should be on your radar as well in 2024. If you want to see what I have on the list, you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. Let's get it. Back, baby. Like I never left.
The Bowtie Fragrance Guy.
All right, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in. Let's jump right into this video. All right, so I talked about the latest releases from the Mind Games brand, the Soulmates collection, and I kind of did a first impressions of all 10 of the fragrances. Kind of went back and forth on some of the ones from especially from the fragrances that came in the white bottles as it pertains to which one I like the most, and I think that now has been settled. All right, so guys, put this one on your radar from Mind Games. This is called Sans Voir. Sans Voir, this is Palo Santo, sea salt, jasmine, and rose. Oh my gosh, so creative. That contrast of like that sea saltiness kind of in the opening with the rose and jasmine. So those florals there in the heart of it. And then as it dries down, man, you guys got to try this, man. It dries down. You kind of get that Palo Santo in there. Like I said, to me, Palo Santo, I kind of akin that to what typically sandalwood would do in a fragrance. That's kind of sort of what it reminds me of. Man, this is so good. Guys, trust me on this. Try it. From Mind Games. Again, the bottles in the white collection, there are a lot of good ones. I think this is my favorite. This is Sans Voir. Sticking with Mind Games, I think I've never kind of wavered from my opinion as it relates to the fragrances that came in the black bottle. Again, there's a lot of really good ones in that collection. And from the beginning, this one has been my favorite. This is French Defense. French Defense. This is really a black cherry and amber-based fragrance. And there's not really much else to say about it. You really have to smell this thing. Like, I would say fall and winter, this is the one would be my favorite. And then for spring, summer coming up, guys, that Sans Voir is going to be absolutely dynamite. You're going to stand out with that fragrance. Trust me when I tell you, I haven't smelled anything that really smells like that. All right, but this one right here, that, like I said before when I talked about it, that kind of liqueured, really black licorice-y kind of cherry note in the opening of this with the amber. Really what this fragrance is all about, but it is so sensual, I love the sweetness of it. And then I love that kind of, again, vanillic kind of amber when it starts to dry down. This thing is absolutely phenomenal, guys. You got to put your nose on it. Again, there's a lot of great ones that came in the black bottle. This is my favorite. So get this on your radar, French Defense. All right, from a brand that I talked about a lot last year, the brand of Boadicea, the Victorious. All right, this is not one that I mentioned a whole lot, but man, it deserves some attention. This one is called Harmonious. This is Harmonious. This is rum, cognac, cinnamon, some powdery, a powdery nuance from orris leather. Those are some of the main notes to my nose. Now, wherever you heard a similar kind of note structure before, think about the Dior Homme line. More specifically, Dior Homme Intense, which is a fragrance that I talked about most recently as one of the best designer fragrances ever created. This is kind of like DHI on steroids, Dior Homme Intense on steroids. All right. This, you guys got to get your nose on it, man. And this is not one of their more expensive fragrances. Well, relatively speaking. Sometimes you offend people when you say stuff like that, but relatively speaking to the prices from that brand, this is not one of their more expensive fragrances. This one you can get for around that $300 price point. Harmonious. If you like fragrances like Dior Homme Intense, Dior Homme Parfum, gotta get your nose on it, fellas. Trust me, this stuff is dynamic. You see I got a little dent in the bottle already. From the brand of Boadicea Victorious, this is Harmonious. When I think about fresh, clean, mass appealing, easy to wear fragrances, high-end designer fragrances, this particular brand has been absolutely smashing it for me, knocking it out of the park. I'm talking about the brand of Louis Vuitton. I've talked a lot over the last few months about a few of the fragrances that they've released that are just top tier in that kind of category. You know, Imagination, Meteore, Pacific Chill. But there's another one that I want you to put on your radar for 2024, and it's this one, City of Stars. City of Stars. This is blood orange, lemon, lime, and then it starts to dry down once you have that really fresh, citrusy opening. It's very powdery, right? Very powdery. I think there may be some iris in here or orris, and it has an extremely kind of musky, masculine base to it. So that kind of offsets the powderiness and all the citrus stuff that you have going on in the opening. The main accord here is the powdery nuances that you get from this fragrance, but it smells absolutely heavenly. Seriously, it's Louis Vuitton. Like I said, those other ones I mentioned kind of fall into that same category. This kind of follows suit. Mass appealing, very inoffensive, very easy to wear, very clean. That is kind of the characteristic of a lot of their fragrances. But anyway, put this one on your radar, guys, from the brand of Louis Vuitton. This is called City of Stars. When the initial version of this fragrance released, I got my nose on it, but in my humble opinion, it was too feminine. It has the note of tuberose, and tuberose, I will say, is one of the notes for guys that's kind of hard to pull off, all right? Although I did have the Carnal Flower from Frederic Malle, that is one that I have in my collection that I can pull off from time to time. But this particular fragrance, the original version was too feminine, but the new version, guys can absolutely smash this from the brand of Nichané's 100 Silent Ways from the X collection. All right, 100 Silent Ways, this is peach, tuberose, iris, and then it dries down. You have vanilla, leather, and patchouli. So that vanilla, leather, patchouli combination on the dry down offsets the tuberose. All right, so whereas the tuberose in the original was so prominent, like I said, to me, and to each his own, but to me it made it really hard for a guy to pull that one off. But this one from the X collection, completely unisex. Completely unisex. And for a guy, I want to tell you, this is going to be very unique because what? You don't find many fragrances that I just attested to that you can, guys can wear that has tuberose in it. But this is one. Trust me when I tell you, like I said, those mid notes and base notes, the vanilla, leather, patchouli combination really starts to dominate this fragrance very early on in your wearing experience. So, you know, again, it, like I said, offsets the florals. Guys, you got to put your nose on it. Put it on your radar for 2024. from the brand of Nichane. This is 100 Silent Ways from the X collection. All right, so this next fragrance is one that was released later in 2023 from the brand of Creed. This is Absolute Aventus. Absolute Aventus. Now, me being a fan of the original Creed Aventus, I love the fact that I can tell that this comes from the Aventus lineage of fragrances. All right, but I do love the fact that there's also some differences here that make it not redundant. All right, price point aside, this is one I think you should really put on your radar, especially if you are a fan of the original. Now, they added some vetiver here, and I think the other main note that I would say that stands out to kind of differentiate this from the original is the spiciness of it, maybe the cinnamon that's in here, which is why some people kind of compared it to Sauvage Elixir, which has that nutmeg and cinnamon in there. But anyway, it's really good, guys. It's really, really good. It's expensive, all right? But again, I don't really get into what's too expensive for somebody because there are such a wide variety of people that listen to the channel. To some people, this is very expensive. To some people, it's not bad for what it is. So wherever you fall into that, maybe get a sample and try it if you feel like it's too expensive. But I will tell you, it's a really great fragrance from the brand of Creed. Put this on your radar, man. This is Absolute Aventus. The next fragrance comes from a brand, to me, that has absolutely been crushing it with everything that they've put out. I think there's only 5 fragrances in the portfolio. Really take your pick. But again, of the more recent releases, man, from Narco Oasis. God, you gotta smell this thing. This is passion fruit, pear, peach, tonka bean, vanilla, and sandalwood. And it's really about that contrast. It's really about that contrast of the very fruity opening with a very sweet, creamy dry down. So you get the fruity opening, or dry down, that tonka bean vanilla combination with the sandalwood. This thing is absolutely standout. Oh, man. I would say the most prominent note in there is that vanilla note. It really, really stands out here. But like I said, it's one that, gives it that versatility because it's so evenly matched. It's like the fruitiness really, really, really prominent, and it kind of sticks, in the wearing experience for the full time. But then that vanilla and tonka is kind of there the whole time as well. So it makes it very versatile to wear anytime, any place, anywhere, and it smells great. So put this on your radar, guys, from the brand of Narcotica. This one is called Narco Oasis. I've talked about this fragrance quite a bit since I've had it. It was released within the last 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. But guys, put it on your radar, man. Again, it's expensive. Get a sample, whatever you want to do. My God, this is perfumery at its best from the brand of Harmonious. This is Jubilation 40. Jubilation 40. Right? Now, it has a lot of the same stuff from the original. So you can tell if you smell the original, when you smell this is Jubilation 25, a derivative of Jubilation 25. But they do have some subtle differences here. I talked about that, the kind of green undertone that's coming from that Divana note. But I also use a broom note, which is a floral that gives off a honey nuance. So where you had more of that thick, rich, authentic smell of honey in the original, this is a little bit more of a floral nuance with a honey-like nuance to that floral. So it's not the exact same. So those two things to me give this a subtle difference from the original. And with this one, instead of the incense, I get a little bit more of the oud here. So again, in my opinion, it's worth it to have both, in my humble opinion, because I really love the original Jubilation 25. And this is similar, but different enough where I don't deem this redundant. But it is absolutely phenomenal. Trust me when I tell you that. Get your nose on it, man, from the brand of Harmonious. This is Jubilation, man, 40. All right, guys, this next fragrance, man, comes from the brand of Argos, and this is the Fall of Phaeton. All right, what you get here is cardamom, ginger, lavender, tonka bean, and leather. Man, I love this, man. This guy, Christian, man, does such creative fragrances, all right? Sometimes the way that they're composed, it take you on that olfactive journey is what I like to call it or refer to it as. Again, listen to the opening, guys, those spices, cardamom, ginger combination, the opening, Then it starts to dry down. You start to get things like, again, the lavender. Some of my favorite notes, lavender, tonka bean, leather. Man, masculine, at the same time, gentlemanly. Just an amazing fragrance. So well done, man. Shout out to Argos again, man. This is absolutely amazing. When you look at the collection of fragrances that were released here more recently, while all of them are really, really good, man, this is one I'm really digging. And I think you guys should put it on your radar, man. This is called Fall F. And last but not least, this fragrance is the one that was released the longest time ago. From the brand of Frappin. This is 1270 Extreme. All right, now what you're gonna get here is pineapple, apple, tonka bean, guaiac wood, vanilla, and patchouli. Some of the main notes here. So the original one that a lot of people really love, the original Frappin 1270, but they talked about the performance. Well, the performance has increased here, and there's some similarities to the original, but this one, to me, they improved the performance, and I like the addition of notes like guaiac wood in this particular fragrance. So if you like, especially for you guys that like pineapple, this is one that is very different from any other pineapple fragrance that I smelled before. Really, really love this stuff, man. And again, one I think you guys should put on your radar this year from the brand of Frappin. This is 1270 Extreme. But that is it, guys. That's my time, man. I hope you enjoyed this video today. Like I said, these are just some fragrances that are more recent releases that I recommend you putting on your radar because, in my humble opinion, they are definitely worth it. As always, I sincerely appreciate you guys' time and attention to these videos. I know you don't have to watch, but you do, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take a few moments out to like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you are sharing these videos out to some other folks out there that you think could use the information or maybe just find it entertaining. Because I'm your guy, Darren. I'm the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side.